So what I wanted to show you is that when we are saying the OB framework, it is not only the outcome based education part, but it is the outcome based curriculum, outcome based learning and teaching, and outcome based assessment. So in this course, this FDP program, we'll be talking about all these. We'll be covering this, the learning teaching part also, outcome based curriculum also, and outcome based assessment also. And right now we are talking about the outcome based, the planning part. Okay. So what we have planned, what we have, uh, course outcomes, program outcomes, and we have seen the mapping also. The last part in this is the attainment of the outcomes. And as I was mentioning, that two parameters we have to take care, the expected attainment and the proficiency. And as I said, no thumb rule, but whatever criteria you set based on your previous results, based on whatever criteria, it has to be properly justified. Okay. Now the question comes, when to assess. So every outcome is the tools to for the assessment, and the level of assessment is different. So course outcome, if we want to assess, we have to assess after the completion of the course, that is but obvious. Program outcomes after the graduation, and program educational objectives after the 4 to 5 years. And what are the various tools? So POs are very difficult to assess because the students have already left the college. They are not, they may or may not be in touch with you. There sometimes their mobile numbers, email IDs, they frequently change it. So this is a difficult parameter which is for the assessment. But still the tools which we use is like, give the alumni survey, take the alumni survey in 1 year, after every year, make it a yearly feature, right? The placement records, the higher education records, the employer satisfaction survey. So these are the various tools which you can use for checking the attainment of the POs. There can be much more, but these are few which are the generic one and the regular one which can be followed. Then you have the PO tools after the end of the program. Still the students are with you. So you can have the different tools and it can be of useful, and large data can be there for the attainment. So it can be end of the course survey. You can have department performance, student exit when the student is leaving the program, alumni survey, alumni advisory, student advisory. And these are the frequency of the assessment tools which are being, you can use, right? So for the POs, for the POs you have direct tools and you have indirect tools. Direct tools are which are directly measurable. So the test, the exams, the assignments, labs, they're the direct tools which are directly related to the COs. So there is one-to-one mapping with the COs, and attainment is directly related to the PO attainment. And the other set of tools is the indirect tools, which are not directly related to the COs. So they can be the exit surveys, faculty surveys, alumni surveys. They are the, the tools which are taken from the various other stakeholders. Here only one stakeholder, that is the student. And whereas in indirect tools, you can cater to the different stakeholders. And the frequency can be again decided by the department. Okay. So again, direct assessment tools and indirect assessment tools. Right. So then comes the CO assessment, which is most important and which every faculty has to take care and every faculty has to work upon it. So for the CO assessment, we all know the indicators are the mid-semester exam, internal exam, semester final exam, okay, the quiz, assignments. Okay. For this, one more important thing is which will be covered in one of the session, that is the rubrics. How you have to show that it has been attained. What parameters you have to represent, or what parameters will represent that you give how much marks for one part, how much marks for the other, and how the attainment is done. So it will be covered, I think, day after. Uh, So this is the summary of the assessment methods and the assessment frequency also. So if you say COs, direct, all direct, and you can assess after 1 month, 2 months, semester, anytime, assessed by faculty and reviewed also by faculty. Whereas the POs, direct and indirect, it can be semester end, it can be year, 6 months, and it may, the assessing and the reviewing authority will be different, right? Assessment can be by faculty, but that can be reviewed by the head of the department or by the say IQAC coordinator or CEO, whosoever, or dean. And POs, again once or twice, and there it is assessment by the department head or the institute and reviewed also by this, right? So this is just a gist of the various tools, but you can have more than that, and you can show the attainment based on this. Okay, so now when we are doing the CO, okay, this I'll show later. Yeah. So now the this is just a case study of how the because attainment also can depend upon case to case, that how you are showing the attainment. Okay, this is one case study which I have taken. Like suppose now it is theory marks and the internal, it is internal theory and internal lab. So you have weekly test of 10 marks and mid exam of 30 marks, and 3 mid exams and 5 to 6 weekly test. And here the attainment is fixed, that if 60% to 70% marks are there, so 1, 70 to 78, 2, and 83. Similarly for the lab examination also, so it is predefined. This I have taken from one university. Okay, so now this is defined already. For seminars also 100 marks, again the attainment level is also mini project, how many times, and what are the attainment levels, all are already predefined to the teachers. Okay, similarly for the end semester also, how many marks, 60 marks, frequency, attainment level, semester and lab exams, frequency and attainment level. And then rubrics, as I said, we'll do it afterwards, but this is the attainment level, which has rubrics for the attainment basically. So if 50% of the student cross 50% of the marks, level 1. If 60% of the student cross 50%, level 2. If 70% cross 50, level 3. Okay, or it can be considered students in the internal end semester between 60 to 69. So all these rubrics for the attainment level can be predefined by the department, specific department. Okay, okay. So then what is the target? What are the total marks? What is the minimum marks? How many number of students attended? How many number of students attained? And then percentage of marks. Okay. So this type of data, or I'll show you one more example of. So this is another way of either nowadays we have the software also, but if you make a uniform Excel sheet or some methodology you develop in your institute for the attainment of the course. So this is one example, simple on Excel sheet. So you see that every student name and roll number, and here it is that you are talking about first course outcome CO1, which is related to PO1, and it is assessed. This is the same case study which I was taking earlier. So CO1 is assessed by first midsum, question 1A, question 1B, question 2A, question 2B, and all the 4 questions of 10 marks each. Total marks is 40. So each marks attained by each and every student is mentioned here. Okay, Excel sheet you can manage total marks obtained, total marks, how much attempted or how much percentage you got. So percentage of marks attained by every student is here, and based on this you can give the score. So if you have set the target, suppose this is the target which we have already set, that greater than 70% 3, 50 to 72, and less than 50 is 1. So this is the attainment level, and this is, and the proficiency is that the percentage of students getting 60% greater than 60. So here, those who have got more than 70, so it means level 3, 70, 70. You see 60, less than 70, it is 2, up to 50. And if I can see anyone, yeah, 0 marks, so it is level 1. Okay, so every student can be scored on the basis of the percentage of marks, and then you can average out. So it is 2.78, the average scoring of the students. And similarly, for the next CO also, CO2, which was based on assignment 1, maximum marks was 5, and every student how much they are getting and how much percentage you are getting. So such type of metrics for the attainment can be done by the individual teacher for that particular subject. And once it is done, then you can come up with the method that, okay, CO1 was 2.78, 18 students, out of this 14 got 3, so 77, 4 got 2, that, okay, 2 means 3 got 14 got 3 means 14 had more than 70% of marks, or target to 60% of marks, and 4 got more than 60, so it is 4. Similarly, CO2, CO3 and CO4, you can come up with the percentage, and based on this, again, you can see that if it is more than 60, it means this CO1 has been attained, this is attained, but this is not attained, and this is also not attained. Okay, this should also be attained. Agar 75 rakha hai, to it will not be attained, or otherwise it will be attained. So once the COs are attained, that, as I said, it can be by any software, or by any tool, or by any method which you people are following, this process can be done. Some people have drawn the mathematical uh, equation also for the attainment of the uh, this course outcomes. Okay, so like this I was saying, so you are already defined for each and every part separate, and then when the students get the marks, okay, then how many students were there, this is another way of showing the attainment. How many students were there, how many students attained, how many percentage of students got more than suppose the reason the it is 70, as I can see, it is more than 80, it should be 3, and more than 70, 70 to 80, it is 2. So if 76%, then attainment level is 2, 86 is attainment level 3, so on. And once, now when you have got this, then coming back to the previous the articulation mapping, where we had shown that CO1 is attained by, so it means CO1 as 2, so it is 2 here, all 2, 3, 3, all the COs can be checked. Okay, जो हमने पहले किया था कि CO1 was related to the weekly examination, so it means this is 2. CO1 was also related to week 2, so it is 3, and CO1 was related to mid 3. Similarly, CO2 and CO3. So once it is done, then you can check for the semester end, for the internal exam also. So everywhere you can check whether CO1 is attained or CO2 is attained or not. So this way, it can be done for the all. And then you can put the weight method, 40%, 60% overall, and so on. So as I said, you can have the different techniques of showing that how you have calculated the attainment, and on what criteria's attainment has been achieved, and then finally, once it is done, then the on same basis the PO can also be checked. So जैसे पहले वाला किया, all the COs we have already planned here, and we can do the average. So average of, for the PO1 is 2.7, PO2 this way, and then the PO average which was already articulated previously, uska ye likha hai, and then you can see whether PO has been attained or not. So different methods are there, no thumb rule, no fixed formula. Okay, But whatever you make it, weighted average or total average, or based on the COs, any method, I have shown you two, three methods, any method you take, proper justification should be there, and it should be tried that it should be uniform for one department at least for the attainment of the COs or the POs, right? So this, because for the direct tools CO mapping is directly related to PO. तो अगर कोई CO attained है तो उसके related जो PO है, if CO1 is okay, let me show you the example. See, if CO1 is attained and in my articulation, say here, CO1 is attained and PO1 and CO1 relation is 3, it means the PO1 is also attained with level 3. So the articulation mapping which was done in the beginning, that is now the gives the direction of the PO attainment. So if CO2 is attained, it means CO2 is related to PO1 2, PO2 3, PO3 2, PO4 2, so on. So it means if CO2 is attained by level 2, so it means it will be taken as it is. Or you can find out not as it is, then you can find out the weighted average. अगर 2 को maximum माना है और यहाँ 2 है, so 2 by 2 करके, अगर 3 maximum है तो 2 by 3 like this. So any method you can employ to show that how you are going to attain either weighted average or direct or just by the formula, any formula. So you can see and you can show that whether the course outcome has been attained or not, and consecutively the PO attainment has been done or not. So direct PO attainment will be directly through the COs, and for indirect you can again formulate the technique. Okay, so like for indirect also you can show कि अगर marks दिए हैं answer wise may, like if you are giving some form for the parents that how the student, your student has shown the ethical values, so they will show to some level yes, sometimes, most of the times. So you can give the marks 4 3 2 1, and on the basis you can average out, and then you can check the attainment for the indirect formula also. Okay, so for direct, for survey also, course and surveys like this you can show. So finally the COPO attainment, once it is done for the one course, then it has to be replicated for the entire semester, and for the entire semester to maybe to the for the finally it can be for the all the courses or for the semester also you can do that, right? So this is how the proper attainment part, it is a challenging part, it requires much more practice, I know it, but I have just given you the idea about that how to move on. Okay, so proper assessment plan should be there, academic process should be there, and the curriculum should be designed after this. So it cannot be done by a single person or by just team of 2 or 3 people. A proper administrative setup should be set for the implementation of OBE, right? Every course should have a course coordinator who should be responsible for all the activities related to that course. And if a course is being taught by a number of faculty members, like applied sciences or humanities programs or some computer IT related programs which are taught by number of different faculty, then you should have a module coordinator who will be responsible for managing all this. Then the program coordinator for the entire program at the department level. Then you can have another committees. You may have PO committee, or you have program assessment or department advisory or BOS, and finally IQAC cell. Okay, so IQAC cell is very important, especially those who are going for the NAC, because the quality for the institute, those who are going for the NAC, they have to upload the AQAir file every year, so which will show the continuous progression of the quality of the department or of the institute. So IQAC cell plays a very, very important role. And yeah, so this type of support system, at least this is the minimum part. You can have more than that, some quality assurance cells or this one, but this should be there. Okay, so with this, I bring my presentation. Any questions till now? There may be many questions I know about attainment because it requires a separate, but still I'll try to answer some of your queries. Yeah.
It is very difficult to select the POs, PIs, competency level. Uh, can you have some show some example how we can select a PO, PI, and then its
Sir,
competency?
you are from technical
Yes, yes, yes,
college. So,
yes.
sir, for technical college, your POs are fixed.
POs are fixed. Then we have a chart for competency level, and then we have PIs.
Performance indicators.
है ना?
Yeah.
And in performance indicators, we have to check the levels,
Hmm.
skill levels, whether it is understanding or
Yeah, that is
application.
has to be related with the Bloom's taxonomy.
है ना? Suppose a student he is in first year,
Yeah.
and the same student then after it goes in final year.
Hmm.
Then in first year, our focus should be on the understanding, remembering, or we can go to higher level also.
No, it should be lower order skill, lower order thinking skills, Bloom's level.
Okay.
Because at first level, your first year, first semester, first year, the focus should be mainly on the uh, understanding and memorizing and the application part, right?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But as you move on further, then you can go to the higher order thinking skills.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes.
As our student is going for the hackathons to the outside of the coverages,
Hmm.
so how can we map these activity as an indirect attainment to attain PO?
How many, what percentage of student go for hackathon, sir?
Around, ma'am, if you have a capacity of 300 students, around 50, 60 students, we can say 20, 30% of the students are going for
So
that.
you can, what my suggestion is, because it's not very large number. If out of 300 only 20 25 are going, so this is a very small number. You cannot make it an exclusive parameter for the CO or PO attainment, but for you can write the involvement of the students in technical related activities. That may be some tech fest, that may be participating in some technology related, uh, seminars or conferences, or students going for technology, some tech related activities. There you can add on, but exclusively because only hardly one eighth of the students are going, then your result, your attainment will not be shown properly. Anybody first can tell me the difference between the curriculum and the syllabus, or are they same? Anyone can unmute.
Ma'am, syllabus is the part of the curriculum, but it is the curriculum is the by day.
Thank you.
Yeah, syllabus is part of the curriculum basically, because the curriculum is actually, the word also comes from the study track, that is what is the course of study which the student is going to take when he's moving on for any, even not even, I'm not saying the curriculum for diploma or the degree program, even for such FDP program for which we are planning, say for 5 day. So what competencies I am expecting, what outcomes I am expecting from the participants, and what type of participants I'll be getting, right? Based on that, I will design the curriculum, that okay, what should be the flow of the the program, what should be this, how, what sessions should be considered, how it should be moved. So the curriculum actually shows everything that happens in relation to the educational program, right? So whether you are coming, making it for the diploma or degree or post graduation, for technical, arts, science, music, anything, the curriculum means the entire coverage. That may be the syllabus, that may be the contents, that may be the timetable, that may be the pedagogy, that may be the assessment, everything. So we cannot use the syllabus as a synonym to curriculum. We cannot say कि ये list of contents जो है वो curriculum है. No. Okay, because when we design the curriculum or when we go for the teaching learning, sometimes this is a very interesting quadrant of the learning, that whether we are, because when the student comes to the college, some things he learns very formal learning. Okay, formal means he is conscious and is on the job. That is जो आप contents बनाते हो. आप first semester 5 subjects, 4 labs. Okay, this practical, this theory part, these many lectures, these many subjects. That is your conscious learning of the student and on the job. Okay, but sitting in the class, behaving properly, talking to these peers, communicating to the teacher, to the skills, communicating with the friends. Okay, that is your unconscious on the job, which is not covered in the syllabus, but it may be part of your curriculum. That what learning the students is getting in the classroom, but unconsciously. Similarly, the learning can be conscious and off the job. Anybody can give me the example? Just a thought. In the class or in the college, when a student comes to you, if I say off the job conscious learning and off
Ma'am,
the
when
job,
they are working on any project,
yeah, yes, yes,
yes,
exactly.
at that time they have to do in the work in a team. Then they will learn how to do the work in the team.
Yes,
Then
exactly.
communication skills as well as
वो
teamwork.
फिर भी वो भी मैम ऑफ द जॉब अनकॉन्शियस है कि when we make them do a project or we make them do a group discussion or we do it जैसे lab में we have group of 4 persons working on the same table, so वो unconscious है कि टीम वर्क में कैसे काम करना है ना. और वो लेकिन
Internship,
इंटर्नशिप्स हैं. जो
yes.
कॉन्शियस ऑफ द जॉब है, दे आर योर इंटर्नशिप्स, दे आर योर सेमिनार्स के प्रेजेंटेशन देनी है या वो, दे आर दी ऑफ द जॉब कॉन्शियस. सो एक्चुअली क्या है कि हम पहले इस पे ध्यान ही नहीं देते थे. वी वर ओनली केटरिंग टू, या हॉस्टल में व्हेन द स्टूडेंट इज स्टेइंग इन द हॉस्टल, हाउ ही इज डीलिंग विद हिज पीयर्स, हिज रूममेट, हिज हॉस्टल मेट्स, राइट. मेस में खाना जा रहे हैं, एथिकल वैल्यूज, ह्यूमन वैल्यूज, बिहेवियर. ओके, सो पहले जो था ओबी से पहले, या जब हम सिर्फ आउटपुट बेस्ड एजुकेशन, या एनईपी भी अब इस पे ज्यादा फोकस कर रही है, वी वर ओनली केटरिंग टू दी ऑन दी जॉब कॉन्शियस लर्निंग. ये कंटेंट है, ये सिलेबस है, ये लैब है, पढ़ो, मार्क्स आए और हो गया. बट नाउ especially when I'll talk about NAP on the last day, I'll show you that how the entire curriculum, जैसे वो जो everything now, मतलब entire curriculum now encompasses the these all type of learnings, for the holistic development of the student. Okay. We are not only teaching them the contents, we are teaching, I know that you must be aware of that now, human values, universal human values and ethics, AICT has made it compulsory, and teachers also being asked to get trained. Indian knowledge system. Okay, then this communication, verbal, non-communication, environment, entrepreneurship. So these are so many things now are the part of the curriculum, so that whether the student is consciously or unconsciously, he is in the learning mechanism, right? So curriculum, when we say, it should not be static. Okay, it should be dynamic, but again, dynamic to the level of that it is in it remains in the pace of the requirement, whether requirement at the institute level or the requirement global level or the industry level or the job level. It should be dynamic, but it should not be such dynamic ke every 1 year 2 year you are changing. नहीं आज ये नहीं, कल ये नहीं, अब 1 साल बाद बदल दो, नहीं अब 3 साल बाद बदल दो. No, it has to be dynamic, but it has to be stable for some time, because when you are changing, the curriculum or the contents, then you should have a proper feedback, you should have proper justification, and you have substantial proofs that why you want to change the curriculum. After 4 to 5 years, it is good to modify the curriculum, right? But it's not a good practice that after every year or two you keep on modifying your curriculum, right? If But you will say that okay, technology wise, so much very frequent changes come, some subjects are to be added. So for that, the concept of elective was introduced, that if you have the electives, then those electives can change maybe within a year, within the semester too. So that if you're like, we used to teach C++, then now then बीच में ओके एवरीबडी वांटेड टू लर्न ओके ओरेकल, फिर आ गया नहीं जावा पढ़ो, जावा फिर जावा डाल दिया, नाउ पाइथन, ओके मशीन लर्निंग. So electives provide you the, there can be certain slots in the curriculum which provides you the flexibility to bring the dynamism in the curriculum, but certain things are to be not to be changed, right? So if I talk about the types, we have different types of curriculum. We may be dealing with it, but we are not knowing it properly. So like core curriculum, as I said, the fundamental, the basics concepts, and the all these subjects which are related to the developing the basics and essential learning, they are called the part of the core curriculum. Okay. And elective or special module curriculum, they are augmenting the core curriculum. They can be, as I said, depending upon what is the requirement of the day or what is the requirement of the industry, or it can be institute specific also. If some institutes I have seen that in the 7th semester they are going for the entire for the industrial internship, or they are getting placed after 7th, and the entire 8th semester is their internship at that particular industry. So some electives should be part of the curriculum which will give them the exposure or help them to learn the things or the concepts which will be required in their industry, right? So electives are just the giving the, as I said, augmenting the core and giving the dynamism to the core curriculum. Similarly, another category is discipline based curriculum, competency based, problem based, community based, and integrated based. The name themselves are quite self explanatory, but being teachers, we are not given any such, in some induction that defines these type of curriculum, but we should have some knowledge about these type of curriculums. So disciplines based, if your student is coming for computer engineering, for diploma in say um, uh, electrical engineering, so your curriculum should be related more to the discipline specific, right? Competency based, if it is what skill, if a student is coming for say diploma or in say fashion designing, or ITI of becoming a fitter, or a C data science with Python programming, then the flow of the contents, flow of the curriculum should be based on the uh, contents, right? Then you have the problem based. Okay, if specifically if curriculum is to design to cater to like project based, okay, that has curriculum. Community based forward, that is again application oriented. And then you have integrated curriculum, which is now like blended learning or the flipped learning curriculum, which I'll talk about in my further slides. These two things I want to bring to the notice of all of you, which is very important. One is hidden curriculum and the other is null curriculum. So hidden curriculum, as we were mentioning, offline, unconscious, which is not the part of the curriculum, or the contents are not taught to the student, but they, by the various practices and by various techniques, they learn those things, right? So that is the hidden curriculum. So if you give a student, you say our infrastructure is very good, Our labs are so self sufficient that every student gets an individual setup to work upon. It may be very good for the discipline specific curriculum, that the individual student is getting exposure on the lab, but it may not be good for the hidden curriculum, because when he is working in a team, the teamwork, the time management, the interpersonal skills, right, the managing the stress or working with the peers, they lack, those type students, they lack that. So that should be taken care somewhere, it should be incorporated, so that the hidden curriculum, which is not written as a subject or content, but it is the part of your curriculum, right? And the other thing is the null curriculum. This is also to be taken care of. Sometimes we put some subjects or some contents that actually devalue, or it's a below the level of the uh, the for the degree or diploma for which the student is. Like the best example is, the student is going for MBBS, but you are teaching, you are actually, the curriculum is designed in such a way that instead of becoming a doctor, he is more inclined to become a nurse, so now with the nursing skills. Or if I say a student going for PG, and you are teaching him the contents or the level at the of the diploma level. Okay, so this you have to take care the level of the contents, or whatever you are, how you are designing the curriculum. The process of designing the curriculum should take care of these two things, parameters, very importantly, right? So basically, if I say the curriculum, it is the total academic plan. And as I said earlier also, it is not only the syllabus or the content is the one part, right? So what to be taught, but how it is, what teaching strategies are to be employed, what pedagogies are to, and nowadays, earlier it was sage on the stage, right? The teacher was there, and the only way to teach was on the blackboard, chalk and talk. The teacher is writing or teacher is explaining on the blackboard, and the students are noting. But now, as we have seen after the COVID, we have with us so many novel pedagogical attribute things we have. Online teaching is there, you know, blended teaching is there, project based, the experiential learning is there. So you can come up with different type of pedagogies with which you can make the student learn more effectively and make the learning environment, as I said, to be more conducive for the learning. So it is time to change our teaching strategies. ये नहीं कि online मतलब just PPT बनाया और कर दिया. No. You know, yesterday when I went to Delhi, met with the director, we were talking about the attention span. Anybody can tell me what is the attention span of a student in a classroom teaching and online teaching? If you are taking a class of 1 hour, what do you think your student will, uh, what will be the general or average attention span of a student? Anyone? So what, 30 minutes? Okay, 30 minutes तो बहुत ज्यादा है. 30 minutes तो मैं ही आपको कैच नहीं कर पा रही हूँ. Okay, so the attention span, the psychological study and the empirical study has also shown that online the attention span is just 15 to 20 minutes. In offline classroom, attention span can be more, because you are facing the teacher and you have something on the blackboard, variations are there. So that it can be, span can be more, but not more than 30 to 40 minutes. But online it is only 15 to 20 minutes, right? So you're teaching, it means agar 15-20 minutes baad your student is not listening to you and he is busy with his phone or something else. So you have to come up with some strategy which can change or which can reshuffle his attention towards you. So that is why if you see in the courses of like Coursera or some any online good you see online courses, after every 15-20 minutes either there is a quiz or there is a small break or there is small joke, so that the attention which was there till 15 minutes and it has been diverted, you can bring it back to this. So some, some intriguing skill you have to put to move the attention back. Okay, so the teaching strategies, what I was trying to say is that you should bring some changes and novelties in the teaching strategy so that students learn, students get connected to you, and you you can show the better results. And then the resources also, what type of lab, what are the structures, and the plan of evaluation. So all in all, the entire academic plan is the part of the curriculum. Okay, so now if I talk about the OB based curriculum, everything should be in place, the objectives or outcomes, and what we have already done, outcomes at the course, at the program, at the PO level, everything. And based on that, contents should be framed, learning methodologies, organization of the contents, and once this is done, then assessment part also should be there. So this is the how the OB model curriculum planning is done. And we have to not only these five major things, we have to take care of whether you are not overloading the students. I had seen that some curriculums are eight subjects in one semester. If a student is coming for 35, 40 hours in a week, all the 40 hours, no. Now even AICTE UGC says that only if a student is coming for 35 to 40 hours in the per week in the college, the contact hours should not be more than 25 to 30. He should have some time for self learning, or he should have some time for, you plan some student related activities, or give him a library period, or some. So information overloading should not be there. Okay, so what time, how much time he's spending in for the contents, how much time he's spending in the lab, how much time he's spending for the other activities, so burden of the students, what opportunities, all these things are to be taken care when you are planning the curriculum, right? So the proper design process which we also follow here is starts with the need assessment. Why, what is the need of the curriculum? Okay, so why we are doing it? If I'm say designing the curriculum for this FDP program, so the what is the requirement, who all are coming, what are their intentions, or what are their the expectations. Okay, if that is known, then we can, and then we have that outcomes and all, then we can do the designing part based on OB model. Once it is designed, then it has to be properly implemented, and it is not to be left here. After implementation, we have to check the output, and we have to see whether we have some gaps, or what we have attained, or some curriculum analysis should be done. So this is the planning cycle of the curriculum, which in details afternoon session will be taken care of. Okay, so curriculum design, how it is defined. So for designing, whether the whole program is to be designed, even for the unit wise, what are the outcomes, how it has to be designed, it has to be taken care of. So basically the components of the design are objectives or the outcomes, the contents, what are taught, the learning experiences, and the evaluation. All are, none of the four parameters can be left behind while designing the curriculum. Every component has to be taken care of. I'm brushing up the things because detail in the successive sections we will come up with the design. Yeah. One last topic which I would like to take is that is the organization of the curriculum. When we design the curriculum, we take care of the horizontal organization and the vertical organization. First, I'll come to the vertical, which is easier to understand and which we actually do. So, the vertical organization means how we are organizing the contents, the subjects, when the movement of the student is in the vertical direction. When he comes in the first semester, first year, what his prior learning is, and how he will move, or what intelligence level or cognitive capabilities which we are inculcating in the student's brain, how they will move year wise year or semester wise semester. So proper continuity has to be maintained, a proper sequence has to be made. We are doing it, but now if you get the clear picture, then every time when you start making the curriculum, or when you are dealing with the curriculum, so these things should be kept in mind. I'll come to the details. And the other horizontal, so vertical curriculum is from one to other. It may be semester wise, it may be chapter wise also. That when, as sir was saying in the morning session for the maths, that that every unit is a separate one. So that is not a good curriculum, because once the student is moving from unit 1 to unit 2 to unit 3, there should be a proper sequence, that first what he has learned, then how he is adding that knowledge for the next unit and for the other. So vertical organization can be okay, so how we are moving in the flow. And horizontal is that when you are within the semester, okay, then what type of subjects you are floating. ये नहीं होना चाहिए, suppose you are teaching digital electronics and analog electronics in the same semester. No, the basic requirement what you are teaching in the basic electronics is precursor to the digital. Or you are teaching, say, any other example you can take, कि C or C++ साथ साथ पढ़ा रहे हो. No. So you have to take the across the different subjects, how the knowledge has to be given. So for that is the scope, that is the breadth and depth of the content. Sometimes we face a problem when we make the course contents curriculum for the diploma. Usual tendency is कि वो कहेंगे तो आप डिग्री पढ़ा रहे हो, क्योंकि अब डिजिटल इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स है, ठीक है, या बेसिक्स ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स है, आपको डायोड पढ़ाना है, आपको ट्रांजिस्टर पढ़ाना है, तो वो तो आप बीटेक में भी फर्स्ट ईयर में वही पढ़ा रहे हो और डिप्लोमा में पढ़ा रहे हो, क्योंकि दैट इज द बेसिक्स फाउंडेशन ऑफ दैट कोर्स. बट इट इज दैट व्हाट इज द डेप्थ you have to get into. So if you are teaching diploma student, if you're telling them diode and it's working in rectifiers and all, it is good. But for the degree student, you have to get into the formulation of p-n junction, its mathematical and its variation, and maybe the same subject with a different name and different contents you may be doing for MTech. But then the breadth and the depth of the contents should be maintained based on which type of course you are catering to, in which year, and for what type of students, right? So that is your the scope कि क्या कितने लेवल तक पढ़ाना है, क्या क्या पढ़ाने हैं, और कौन से स्टूडेंट्स की लर्निंग ब्लूम्स, अगेन ब्लूम्स लेवल के कौन से उस पे आप पढ़ा रहे हो. आप सेकंड सेमेस्टर, जैसे अभी कौन पूछ रहा था कि इफ यू आर in first semester and can we go for higher levels, no, you have to see कि आप cognitive level देख रहे हो, means okay, कौन सा स्किल देख रहे हो, और अगर कॉग्निटिव देख रहे हो तो कौन से ब्लूम्स लेवल पे देख रहे हो, अगर आप साइकोमोटर देख रहे हो तो आप स्किल कौन से स्किल्स को देख रहे हो. सो दिस ऑल द स्कोप एंड द सीक्वेंसिंग हैज टू बी मेंटेन्ड while designing the curriculum. Proper logic should be there and the hierarchy should be maintained when we are moving from one subject to the other, right? So if you are going for the sequence, this is obvious that we go from simple to complex, start with the easy part to the difficult part, okay? Start with the concrete knowledge and then move to the abstract information. Start from the prerequisite learning, fundamentals are strong, then we can go for the higher learning. Whole to part learning, start for the broader aspect and then come to the, like, have a bird's eye view, ऐसा पढ़ाओ कि general thing. फिर उसमें जो छोटे छोटे टॉपिक्स हैं you can get into that, and chronological based on the sequence. So ये सब चीजें मैं यही कह रही हूँ कि we usually do but we do not do in a proper structure way. But if now things become clear to you, then while designing the curriculum or dealing with the curriculum, you will have a good idea, right? So yeah, continuity is to be maintained. The repetition, vertical repetition of the components should be bare minimum. But like 10%, if suppose you are teaching a student some subject in second semester, ठीक है, आपने उसको पढ़ा दिया और उसके बाद उसका जो प्री रिक्विजिट मतलब उसका जो नेक्स्ट चाहिए या उसकी इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए, आपने सिग्नल एंड सिस्टम पढ़ा दिया थर्ड सेमेस्टर में, एंड यू आर टीचिंग डीएसपी इन से फिफ्थ सेमेस्टर. So some about 5 to 10% of the subject of signal system which is required as a foundation subject for DSP, that can be repeated. Okay, so ये नहीं कि बिल्कुल एकदम से, क्योंकि थोड़ा तो बच्चे का मेमोरी का भी टाइम का होता है. So there is no harm when you do the vertical repetition. And yes, the curriculum should be balanced. When you are designing a curriculum for a class where all, suppose 50 students or 100 students, they do not have the same mental level, they do not come from the same background, their learning style may be different, their learning pace may be different, every individual is different. So the curriculum should be balanced one, which should take care of the all the individuals which are in the class. And I'm not saying कि हर बंदे के लिए अलग, but ऐसा बैलेंस होना चाहिए जो कुछ जो average everybody should understand. Some portion can be like जो बहुत easy हो to start the pace, and at the end some curriculum can be typical one जिसमें ठीक है थोड़ा सा learning efforts ज़्यादा डालने पड़ेंगे. As it's like जैसे हम क्वेश्चन पेपर की बैलेंसिंग करते हैं. So similarly the curriculum should also be balanced and it should be properly integrated. So the sequence, movement, the scope, the subject matter, the balance between the theory and the practical part, balance between uh, the conscious and unconscious learning. So it should be properly integrated. If it is a balance, if you have the blended mode of learning, if you are going for it, then curriculum has to be taken care of. If you are going for the flipped learning, then also it can be taken care of. So basically 3 curriculums are there: subject centered, learner centered, and problem centered. See, if you notice, earlier it was totally teacher centered. The output based curriculum was totally teacher centered. That what teacher wants to teach, how teacher wants to study, make them study, how teacher wants to assess. Now, no, it is totally student centric. What students want to understand, what students want to learn, how they want to go on with the projects part, or problem based or project based PBL learning. So all these basic curriculums are the more into the learner centric. So subject centric, okay, some domain specific has to be taken care of. Okay, because when we are going for the education, then obviously we have to take care of the subject or the domains. So this is the, we all know कि उसमें कौन से डालने हैं. Then discipline specific, as I said, based on the academic disciplines. Then you have broad field designs, interdisciplinary, and now NAP is talking about cross-disciplinary and multidisciplinary. So what subjects are to be, contents are to be integrated. So if I say I am the, say, business law, so being an electronics engineer, I can study business law. Being a management, can study business law. Being an entrepreneur, can study business law. Being a electrical engineer, being a humanities graduate, can study law. So business law or entrepreneurship or environment, their curriculum should focus on such that it is understandable to all type of students, irrespective of they're coming from any domain. But if you're designing the subject of, say, anthropology or geography, then you have to be domain specific, right? So these are the broad field design. Process designs, okay. Then you have the learner centered. So as I said, whether it is basically it is more pertinent to the what student wants to learn. So it has to see at what level the student is, whether he's a school student, college student, he's experienced student, like you are going for the MBA, जिसमें students come from they comes after, even after the work X, so their curriculum will be different, right? Or the radical design, that critical, you have to be more, the student have to more problem and project or flipped learning kind of thing, then your uh, curriculum has to be designed in a different way. And humanistic design, where the more emphasis is on human values and humanities part, then your curriculum has to be different. So different type of, the crux of the story is that different type of curriculums for different parameters have to be designed. So like problem centered, whether it is life situation or whether it is reconstructed, okay, political, social, economic, that type of curriculum, if it has to be designed, it has to take care of the social culture also. Okay, so finally, the outcome based curriculum, which we have been talking about for the entire day since yesterday. So, as I said, the outcomes have to be defined: teaching, learning, assessment, and evaluation. So, again, the PDCA cycle has to be taken care of. The the planning part, stakeholders, graduate competencies, learning outcomes, and the curriculum. Doable part, learning, teaching, assessment, checking, result, analysis, evaluation, feedback, and then the action of standardization and improvement. Same story in a different style, right? So curriculum has to be uh, okay, this I won't go into much. I think afternoon session will take care of this. Yeah. Any questions up till now? I have left this part because outcomes and contents we have talked about, and teaching, learning, methodology, assessment, evaluation. From tomorrow onwards, we'll be talking about all these parameters. So I'm not covering much in this. Okay. So with this, I'll stop here. And if any questions, I can just,
Good afternoon, ma'am.
yeah, good afternoon, sir.
I'm Dr. Satyendra Sharma from GL Bajaj.
Yes, sir, yes.
Ma'am, actually, while designing a curriculum, AICT has given certain limitations that subject science, based elective or science, this much percentage should be
मॉडल
covered.
वो मॉडल करिकुलम
Model
कोई
curriculum.
लिमिटेशन नहीं है.
So can we change of something? We can
Yes, yes.
divert 10% or 5%
Yes,
above and
yes,
below.
yes, sir. तभी तो उसके आगे मॉडल लिखा है.
Yes.
It is a model curriculum. It is a suggestive curriculum.
Okay.
Okay, 10% humanities part, na, 8
जी.
to 10 to 15%, or 5 to 10% interdisciplinary elective.
जी.
में ओपन इलेक्टिव, उसमें तो ओपन इलेक्टिव भी 5-6 दे रखे हैं.
हाँ.
हाँ,
So
तो वो
actually, we should not stick to it.
नो
We
नो
can,
नो
ना.
नो नो नॉट एट ऑल. वो जो ऐसा है, जो फिर जो काम नहीं करना चाहते ना,
जी.
कि अच्छा बना बनाया मिल रहा है तो क्यों दिमाग खराब करना है.
Okay, okay.
Otherwise, it
Agreed,
is a model. It is not. They have never said that you you just stick to this particular content, subjects, and everything. No, that is a model. Some variation you can very easily have.
very good, ma'am. Your content was very rich,
Thank you
and
so much.
I'm very much thankful because we will be benefited. We are going for autonomous this year,
Oh, that's
so I am noting down all this what steps you have said to us. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, any other questions? Okay, I think I've taken a lot of attention today, and so we'll stop here. Thank you so much, everyone, for patience hearing. And I don't know whether I should say patience hearing or patience listening, right?